И всем хай, с вами я, Супер Про, и сегодня мы будем смотреть презентацию телефона pocophone. Ну что, погнали! И это реакция, да. Ждем. Тут пока что они крутят рекламу, а через 4 минуты, получается, они уже полноценную презентацию тут видят сам вот этот создатель Xiaomi. Понял. Еще 4 минуты ждем. Пока чекаем вот это. Чатик. Что тут говорят? Хотя какой прайс будет? Какой прайс? Стойте. Чё, да. Лучше будем чекать чатик. Price then 30к total list. Что, он 30к стоит? Я что-то это нигде не увидел. Да, тут 25к Snapdragon. Пока. Я успеваю смотреть, что-то с чем. YouTube. Сейчас у меня уже задавало то, что пока. Типа не знаю. Пока почекаем чат. Хотя стоит. Все, давай. Смотрим. Последние минуты. До презентации. Официальная уже презентация, по-моему, начнется. 17:00. Просто рекламка. Короче, давайте еще 1 минута. Ждем. Еще 1 минуту. 16:59. 17:00. Все, после вот этого рекламного прокрута уже начнется сам эфир. О, все, презентация. Неужели pocophone?
Hello everyone. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to Poco's online global launch event. Thank you all for joining us on the stream today. My name is Angus, and I'm the product marketing manager at Poco. I'm very excited and honored to be the speaker today. We're back. It's been a while, and we're very excited to be back. But before we dive into Poco, we want to give everyone a brief reminder. During this difficult time, please stay safe. We're no experts, but we want to remind all of you to exercise when you can, wash your hands, and most importantly, social distance yourself. Let's spread this message as much as possible together. Now let's get started. We have lots to share with you. In 2018, we launched the Poco F1. You guys all know about it. The master of speed. And we sold over 1.64 million units. For a new brand and a first product, that's quite the achievement. It was absolutely loved by our fans. Not just fans though. We received many amazing reviews from many different tech media, calling the F1 the flagship killer. From GSM Arena, the flagship killer title now belongs to another phone, the Poco F1. We're very flattered. The F1 is a performance-driven phone with many great features that the fans loved. Fast performance, great build quality, and a pretty good camera too. Now in 2020, the Poco brand has fully relaunched, and we're following the same legacy when we first started out. Let's take a look at Poco's latest brand video.
While the world is focused on chasing the latest and the flashiest, we pace ourselves so we can dive deep in what really matters. We hold firm to our beliefs and refuse to be swayed. We curate the technology to enable your daily experience with the raw power necessary to be effortless and smooth. We surpass ourselves every day, showing our passion, perseverance, and potential to the world. This is Poco, focusing on innovations that truly matter. Poco.
Now we disrupted the market in 2018 with the iconic Poco F1. And today we're announcing the true flagship killer has returned to disrupt the market once again. So without further ado, introducing the Poco F2 Pro.
pocophone F2 Pro. Да, точно, я это видел.
Poco F2 Pro is
F2
also
Pro еще выходит.
So we follow the footsteps of F1, but we took it to a whole new level. Today, I'm going to talk about three big things: performance, design, and camera. Now, for the Poco fans over the stream, you know which one I'm going to talk about first. Performance. Powerfully cool performance. Straight power, straight speed. You may be wondering why we're calling the F2 Pro powerfully cool then. Before we get into the cool part, let's start with power.
Это, конечно, ни в коем
Yes,
случае не
the
реклама
Qualcomm Snapdragon 865,
pocophone.
the leading
Нет,
processor,
это не реклама, это просто
the leading
обзор.
flagship processor
Реакция.
right now. What makes it so incredible is Qualcomm's Snapdragon 865's unique architecture of 1 plus 3 plus 4, 8
Ну, он
cores,
так поднял
high
весь
speed,
частоту.
mid speed, and emergency cores. It has the ability to run super smooth and optimize power usage. And for our hardcore fans, this uses the latest ARM A77 architecture. And not every 5G handset uses this structure. To give you a better understanding on how fast it is, we compared it to last year's flagship, the Snapdragon 855. It's 25% faster in overall performance. And the AI performance saw an amazing 100% increase. And the power efficiency improved by 25 to 35%. And since it's the latest flagship processor, it also supports 5G and Wi-Fi 6. Now, to pair with such an amazing processor, we had to also match up in the RAM technology and the flash storage. We have the LPDDR5 RAM technology, which has a maximum transmission bandwidth of 44 gigabytes per second. That's absolutely insane. Switching between apps is super fast, and having multiple apps open at the same time or in the background will not lag your phone at all. And to pair such high performance, let's not forget about write speed. Loading times are greatly improved because of the UFS 3.1, with a transmission write speed of 777 megabytes per second. That's amazing. With the best processor, best RAM, and best storage, the Poco F2 Pro's performance is next level. It's a beast in whatever you do. Gaming, multitasking, recording videos, transferring files, you name it, and it can handle it. Now, how do we compare ourselves with other phones in the market? Here are some of the CPU scores going up against the Samsung S20 Plus. We scored an Antutu CPU benchmark of 184,817. That's 15% higher than Samsung's latest flagship Exynos 990. And in GPU, we ran a comparison test on the GFX Bench Manhattan 4.0, where we scored 25% higher than the Exynos 990. In fact, we actually maxed out on our score at the 60. So the Poco F2 Pro thrives in both CPU and GPU. We didn't stop there with the comparisons. We also compared ourselves to a recently launched flagship, the OnePlus 8 Pro. It also has a Snapdragon 865, where we scored 3% higher than the OnePlus 8 Pro, and in GPU, both devices were maxed out on the highest score. And that's expected. We're both Snapdragon 865. But what about overall Antutu score? A total score of 589,983 for the Poco F2 Pro. Comparing to the OnePlus 8 Pro, we're roughly 15,000 higher. Comparing to the Samsung S20 Plus, there's a fair bit of difference there. Almost 75,000 in difference. Now we talked about power, and this score actually doesn't tell the whole story of the Poco F2 Pro. Earlier I mentioned what makes the Poco F2 Pro powerfully cool. We spoke about the power, now it's time to talk about the cool part. It's actually all to support the idea of sustainable performance. And we want to make sure our users experience no stutter at all, especially in performance. We all know sometimes the flagship speed can get the phone pretty hot. It's expected with so much power packed into a tiny device. And let's take a look at where it gets hot. The 5-core hotspots is located at the F2 Pro, at camera, the radio frequency chip, the charging chipset, the processor, and the 5G modem. So how do we solve this?
Серьезно.
Introducing the latest liquid cool technology 2.0. When we first launched the Poco F1, we started a trend, putting a cooling system in a smartphone. What a crazy idea, but it was well known for it. And this year, we're going to take it to a whole new level once again. After identifying the hotspots, we had to make sure we can detect where the heat is actually spreading. So we installed 10 heat sensors, covering most of the area where the heat is coming from. Then we solve it with 3 different components. A multi-layer graphite, covering most of the battery and the motherboard. A graphene, covering the CPU and 5G chipset. Then the coolest part, a supersized VC to do most of the cooling work. And let me show you how our VC actually works. This is actually how our VC spreads heat, in more than one direction, whereas a typical VC actually only disperses heat in one direction, making it a lot less efficient. But today, I'm actually going to show you 3 disassembled devices, including the Poco F2 Pro. So let's go take a look at the inside. Now, we have 3 disassembled devices here. In the middle, we have the Poco F2 Pro. On the right, the Samsung S20 Plus. On the left, the OnePlus 8 Pro. As you can see, in the middle, this is the Poco F2 Pro supersize VC. For the S20 Plus, they have it placed near the top. For the OnePlus 8 Pro, they also have it near the top. And if you look at it in size, we're so much bigger. And this makes sustainable performance so much easier for us. With our earlier technology that I mentioned, multiple directional heat dispersion, making it more sustainable and run for much longer. Now let's go back and take a look at a game framing test.
Что, он хочет производительность игр протестить?
Besides being very big in our VC, we also did a frame rate comparison test with the Samsung S20 Plus and the OnePlus 8 Pro. We used a very graphical demanding game and played for 30 minutes straight.
54 FPS.
In this test, we tested for average frame rate and janks. Janks is actually the amount of times the frame rate has dropped from the highest possible frame rate, which is 60 in this case. So the Poco F2 Pro averaged a 56.62 frame rate per second. The OnePlus 8 Pro averaged 54. And the Samsung S20 Plus, a bit disappointing, but 33.2 FPS. But what actually matters here are the janks number. And we're the lowest by quite a bit margin. So this comes down to the result of bigger cooling equals better sustained performance. And this is why I say the Poco F2 Pro is powerfully cool. And talking about gaming, we actually have some extra cool features. We have a 180 hertz touch sampling rate. So when you're gaming, it'll help with your accuracy and precise aiming. It's very helpful in shooter games. Paired with it, we also have a very good Z-axis linear motor. The feedback is super satisfying. It's a flagship level haptic, whether you're playing a game or typing a text to your friends. Now, with all of these high performance and extra features, we actually got certified. The Poco F2 Pro, one of the few phones on the market that has 2 Ryland high gaming performance certification. And in order to get this, we had to pass a series of tests. Display, battery life, network, overall experience, heat dissipation, and overall performance. Now, for gaming, you know it takes more than just super powerful performance to have a great gaming experience. You also need flagship level connectivity. With the Poco F2 Pro, it supports 5G, Wi-Fi 6, and Super Bluetooth. You will always be connected, and the speeds are incredible. And maybe now another question raises up. With fast performance and fast connections, especially having the latest processor, the Snapdragon 865, paired with 5G, you must think it could drain the battery a lot. Which is why, for the Poco F2 Pro, we put in a massive 4,700 mAh battery. It just seems like the common sense thing to do. A 2-day long-lasting battery. Now you have sustainable performance and sustainable battery life. On a single charge, you could do a lot. Whether you want to game, listening to music, binging on great HD content, or recording some HD videos, you can do a lot of hours of it. And in case you do run out of juice, we have a 30-watt fast charging. And that's a flagship level fast charging. 63 minutes to 100%. You'll be charged up in no time. To give you a better taste on how powerful and smooth the Poco F2 is, we partnered up with Arena of Valor for a gaming test, a temperature and a battery test between the Samsung S20 Plus. Unfortunately, this was filmed before the OnePlus 8 Pro got released, so you got lucky there, OnePlus. We played 3 games to test how hot the phones got. Now let's take a look.
Погнали. Самое интересное. Может, все-таки все геймеры? Они должны производительность получше.
Now, sustainable performance matters. No lag, no stutters, smooth cruising all the time. To sum up the Poco F2 Pro's overall performance, is truly powerful, and it's very cool. Literally cool. We have the Snapdragon 865, LPDDR5 RAM, and UFS 3.1. For sustainable performance, we added liquid cooled technology 2.0. For flagship connectivity, we have 5G, Wi-Fi 6, and Super Bluetooth. Powering all these amazing performance, we have a 4,700 milliamp battery that also supports 30-watt fast charge. And what does this mean? It means you will be able to experience the latest of anything with ease. And if we look at the comparison chart on performance only, overall against the OnePlus 8 Pro and the Samsung S20 Plus, a better Antutu score, a better flash storage, a bigger and better liquid cooled technology, a bigger battery. Powering all these amazing performance, we have a 4,000 plus 8, 900 euros. It's a bit pricey, if you ask me. Now, I did say we're a performance-driven phone, but that does not mean we slacked in any other area. We want to make sure you have a great screen paired with such an amazing performance. Yes, a true full-screen display. No notch, no holes, fully immersive. For our true full-screen display, we have a 6.667-inch True AMOLED, a 92.7% screen-to-body ratio. That's a lot of screen. And having a true full screen, when you're gaming, you won't ever worry about having blocking a feature or a stat in your game. It's going to be always there. And when it comes to brightness, the Poco F2 Pro has a 5 million to 1 high contrast ratio, 800 nits on high brightness mode, and reaches up to 1,200 nits on maximum brightness. That's enough brightness for you to see super clearly, even when you're under the summer sun. Besides very high brightness, we make sure you also get the perfect brightness. The 360-degree ambient light sensor, which is a really cool feature. We added 3 light sensors that can detect the light environment around you and adjust brightness faster and more accurately. Now this may seem like a small thing, but it really matters on a daily use experience. Yes, we make sure you also get the perfect brightness. And for our screen, we have HDR10 Plus certification. It's always optimizing brightness and contrast, which will give you better detail and range of colors, whether you're gaming or watching HD content. And talking about HD content, actually, we're also Widevine L1 certified. You can watch HD in multiple platforms, such as YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and many others. I know you guys will be binge watching a lot of shows on the F2 Pro. Now we have a lot of HD, but we also want to make sure our users' eyes are taken care of, which is why the Poco F2 Pro also passed the TÜV Rheinland Global Eye Care certification. We wouldn't want you to lose your 20/20 vision in the year of 2020. And because we're an AMOLED screen, we also have an in-screen fingerprint reader to ensure the security of your phone, a given feature in this day and age, of course. And speaking of unlocking, some of the features you will be getting. Once you unlock the device, you'll see that the Poco F2 Pro will be running the latest Android 10 OS. You'll be able to enjoy all the latest features and be fully secured. And onto my favorite feature of the phone. Yes, we still have Poco Launcher 2.0. This is my favorite, and I would use this on any phone. It's just so good. Makes my life so much easier. That's because we believe the Poco Launcher 2.0 will make your life easier. It's built for flagship efficiency. For example, our app drawer. Usually, the app search is at the top. But for the Poco Launcher, the app drawer, we've taken into consideration the natural thumb area and moved the search bar to the bottom, so it allows you to have a speedier app search. And the Poco Launcher also automatically groups apps according to different categories. Usually you have to do this yourself manually, but in the Poco Launcher, we do it for you automatically. It helps me a lot because when I get so many apps downloaded, I get a bit lazy on organizing. Don't judge me.
Давай. А, драйвера, что там связано с
And
драйверами?
because all you have to do is swipe across the categories, and the apps are there for you. For example, if you installed a new social media app, it will be automatically get added to the communication tab. And the latest, our dark mode. It's easy on the eyes
Эти
always.
странные звуки,
And come
это
on,
просто...
honestly, who doesn't love dark mode? It's always very
Я на
cool.
стол телефон вложил.
So Poco Launcher 2.0, you can get it on Google Play, as long as you're using an Android phone. You can set it as your default launcher. Currently, we have over 10 million downloads, and that's a mind-blowing number for us. We certainly didn't expect it, but we promise we will always optimize it to make it even better. Let's moving on to design. I know you guys have been waiting for so long to see the F2 Pro, and I won't hide it any longer. The Poco F2 Pro in cyber gray. It's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? It's sleek, it's eye-catching.
Нифига у него дизайн прикольный.
And for the Poco F2 Pro,
Pocophone.
there is a symmetrical element and an ergonomical element to the design. We purposely put the camera placement in the middle, so when you're taking a photo or recording a video,
У них только
your natural
лица
hand placement
подписчиков
wouldn't
идут
block the camera.
натуральные Poco.
An elegant curved body design on the backside, enhancing your hand feel even more so. Then a Corning Gorilla Glass 5 front and back, making it sturdy and going through your daily wear and tear. Now here comes the cool part. And this is what I'm talking about. Some forgotten conveniences that flagship phones used to have. The IR blaster, the NFC, and most importantly, the headphone jack. I always thought to myself, I don't need headphone jacks. Then on some days, I'll be looking at my phone, looking to plug in my headphones. And I really appreciate that when it's actually there. And trust me, you'll want it, because we do believe all these features are still in high demand among our users.
Не шарю.
Now to show some other colors of the F2 Pro,
понял, всё,
let's
всё,
take a look.
всё понял.
Here are the 4 other color variants. The
Дальше.
neon blue, the phantom white,
О,
the
прикольно,
electric
кстати.
purple, and the cyber gray
Я
that
бы
you've
взял
already seen,
синенький.
which is also my personal favorite.
Мне
So
синенький
now,
понравился.
let's take a look at the product video.
Ого.
Now in my hands, I have the Poco F2 Pro. One in phantom white and the other one in cyber gray. They're both absolutely stunning, and they're super sleek. For the cyber gray, it's a bit glossy but mostly matte. And for the phantom white, it's quite glossy but it super stands out super well. Now we also have the 2 other colors on the stands over there. The neon blue and the electric purple for a more vibrant color. It's a better choice and it's super stylish as well. So to sum up design, a lot of our decisions made here were because we want to make sure we could offer an unforgettable look and feel experience. With a true full screen, you can have an immersive experience. We made sure we kept some of the features that are actually slowly fading away in flagship devices. And because these features still matters to our users. Now, we're going to move on to camera. And I'm super excited for this one. The quad camera setup. Quad camera in 2020 has been the norm, and is no different for the Poco F2 Pro. We have a 64 megapixel main camera, a 123-degree ultra-wide angle camera, and a telemacro camera, which is my favorite, and a depth sensor. So let's start with a 64 megapixel main camera.
Уже 24 минуты идет.
So the Poco F2 Pro uses an industry-leading 64 megapixel Sony IMX686 sensor. This has a huge sensor size and a
Как же
1.6
видео будет долго
micron
заливаться?
4-in-1 super pixel.
30
With this,
минутную.
the Sony IMX686 produces stunning image quality with precise colors and very rich details. Let's take a look at some samples.
На моем телефоне.
You see, this is actually a peak of a snow mountain.
заливалось.
With the full image, you can capture it ultra clear with sharp details. And this particular image was actually shot near Sichuan, China. It's a stunning view. Then let's zoom in, and we caught a plane,
С качеством.
but only a part of a picture. It was just a small detail in the image. And that's actually how close you can zoom in. And when you zoom in, you can actually retain all those details. And that's pretty amazing, right? Now we showed you some day shots, and let's show you some night shots. Night Mode 2.0. I know a lot of our fans are quite the night explorer. I've been on the Poco photo forums, and I see you guys taking beautiful night shots. So we had to make sure the Poco F2 Pro can meet their needs. This is a flagship level low light performance for the F2 Pro. Besides the ability to see clearly and at night, we also want to see wider. With a 123-degree sensor, you can capture an incredible amount of color, shadow, and details. Ultra-wide angles are always fun. You can capture more, especially on landscapes. Now, the really exciting part now. We've talked about clear, we talked about day, talked about night, and wide. It's time to get close, like super close. For the Poco F2 Pro's telemacro lens, it's super sharp and close-up. The industry first, because with these lenses, we're actually 2 times more macro. Let me show you what we mean by that. For our friends over the stream, do you have an idea what this is? Because at first, when I saw it, I actually didn't know what it was. It looked like some sort of silk maybe, a colored brush, I couldn't tell. And then I actually found out it's actually a beautiful betta fish. Isn't that shocking? We're capturing the beauty from like another world. With a telemacro lens, you can see into the telemacro world. See the true colors up close. So close that we went to space. We went to the moon. Actually, no, we didn't. We actually just took a black and white photo of a telemacro shot that was shot on a piece of bread. And with these telemacro shots, you can actually get really, really creative. Let's show you another example. An oyster. Not very photogenic on most days. But if you use a telemacro lens, you actually take a closer look and you could see something very, very different. For us, we thought it was the edge of another planet, looking far away at the universe. So today, I'm actually going to show you how it actually works in real life, not just show you some sample photos. Let's go take a look. Now, let's take a look at how the telemacro photo on the F2 Pro works. And then we press the telemacro function. Then we go 2 times more macro.
Ну да,
So the marble actually becomes some sort of planet actually.
Выглядит тут
Maybe planet
очень
Poco.
приятно.
And then we can just take a photo
Супер приятно.
and you have something completely
Посмотрите, это же
so much color and so much details. This is the Poco F2 Pro's telemacro lens. Now let's go back to the main stage.
тупо шик.
So now we've seen how a telemacro lens work. We can't wait to see your telemacro shots when you use the Poco F2 Pro. Tag us as Shot on Poco, as always, and show us your best work. And moving on to flagship videography. When it comes to flagship video, of course we talk about 8K.
8К
Let's take a look.
видео? Нифига, у меня сейчас мой интернет вылетит от такого.
For other video features the F2 Poco have, such as portrait mode, pro mode, and video stabilization. A lot of different features to meet your needs. And let's talk about the front camera. It's actually a pop-up camera, and it's 20 megapixels. And you could do a lot of fun features as well. For example, the other day at the office, we took a slow motion selfies with our colleague and pranked it. Let's take a look. So with all these features, we want our fans to unleash
Что-то
their
я немного не
creativity.
понял, но
Be
смешно.
different in such a packed digital age. Inspire others. And we want to be a part of that journey with you. So for the Poco F2 Pro's camera, we
Не
have the
могут
Sony
длиться
IMX
только
686,
10
ultra-wide
минут,
angle,
оказывается.
9.0, a telemacro
Кстати,
camera.
Xiaomi
For
уже
video, we have 8K,
приватный создатель
portrait
Xiaomi.
mode, slow motion
Ехали.
selfies, pro
Они
mode, and
рассказывают
video
30
stabilization.
минут.
So a lot of fun features that I'm sure you'll love exploring,
По-моему,
and I guarantee you
остатка
enjoy
моей
it.
памяти в телефоне. Хана.
Now, to sum up
What?
everything we talked about, the Poco F2 Pro is powerfully cool. It's versatile and powerful, with the latest specs in performance and a true full screen and a big battery.
Про внутреннюю
You
память
can do
не
anything.
рассказывают.
And this is why we believe the Poco F2 Pro is a true flagship. And I've been using this device myself for a couple of weeks now. And I can tell you guys confidently, it may be the perfect phone. For example, I'm a gamer myself, and when I go into the zone for hours, this phone can actually keep up.
Я сам
It
ходил
can
на
handle
весь
anything I
правильно.
throw at it. I love it, and I know you will too.
Nice.
And what do we mean by true flagship? If you compare ourselves on paper
What price?
against other two flagships we talked about
Где мое
today, the
сообщение?
Samsung S20 Plus and the OnePlus 8 Pro,
Там еще раз
we're actually on par with them on most specs, and even better than them at some.
Прайс.
So like I said, what makes us different from a flagship
Вот
phone?
прайс. Где вот
It's simple.
прайс?
It's our flagship killer price. I know, you guys have been waiting for this for a while, and I won't tease anymore. Let's reveal it right away. For our first option, 6GB plus
Наконец-то
128GB
сказали
option,
RAM.
we have the
Сколько?
price of 499 euros. That's an amazing price. And this is a definition of worth. And for those who actually want more, we have more.
Стойте,
For the
подождите.
8GB and
А
256GB
8056
option,
сколько это
we
стоит?
also have an
Давай.
amazing price. Starting at 599 euros. Now we can go back to the chart and see the numbers all over again.
Себе. Сказал я себе.
Performance, the sustainable performance, the battery, the true full screen, the camera, and the forgotten flagship specs. Then you look at the price. We're actually 40 to 50% cheaper than OnePlus 8 Pro.
Ну, по сравнению
And the
с
Samsung S20.
OnePlus
That's
и с
pretty shocking.
Samsung, это далеко не
So here it is in summary.
цены.
The Poco F2 Pro,
Я сам знаю, я
powerfully
себе
cool.
когда-то хотел Samsung.
starting at 499 euros
Поэтому
and
вот это
599
другое
euros
дело.
in 4 very cool colors. So choose yours. And global availability starts today on Gearbest and AliExpress. And we have more channels coming. On Poco.net, Amazon, Lazada, Shopee,
Poconet.
JD Central, and even more channels, where we will announce very, very soon. And you might actually also see the Poco F2 Pro in offline stores. So when you do, please make sure to check it out. Now again, the Poco F2 Pro, powerfully cool. We want to thank all of our fans and media and partners for joining us today. This would have not been possible without the support from all of you in the last 2 years. I know summer is coming, so stay cool, stay safe. Thank you very much. Till next time.
Чё, все?
While the world is focused on chasing the latest and the flashiest,
Чё, это
we
говно
pace
стал
ourselves
говорить?
so we can dive deep
И
in what
память у меня
really
кончается в
matters.
телефоне.
We hold firm to our beliefs and refuse to be swayed. We curate the technology to enable your daily experience with the raw power
Ой, я уже
necessary to be
вспотела.
effortless and smooth. We surpass ourselves every day,
У меня уже видео 40 минут идет.
perseverance, and potential to the world. This is Poco, focusing on innovations that truly matter. Go.
смотреть, пока это кончится все нафиг. Красивенькое видео. Что там pocophone 2 Pro?
While the world is focused on chasing the latest and the flashiest,
Кончилось?
we pace ourselves so we can dive deep in what really matters. We hold firm to our beliefs and refuse to be swayed. We curate the technology to enable your daily
Что интересно,
experience
сколько он сейчас
with the raw
стоит?
power necessary.
Сейчас $1 это 72 рубля получается. 599 умножить 72 40. 14 умножить на 72. Нифига себе. Ой. $35 000. Тариф. Подождите. Походу рили уже все, потому что она бы не крутила так. Одно и то же. Типок.
While the world is focused on chasing the latest and the flashiest,
Издевается.
we pace ourselves
Либо сейчас
so we can
закругляется,
dive
либо у
deep
меня
in
в
what
телефоне
really
память
matters.
все кончится.
We hold firm to our beliefs
Либо
and refuse
я
to be
буду
swayed.
ждать.
We
буду
curate the
ждать.
technology to enable your daily
Ну ладно,
experience
допустим,
with
будем
the raw
ждать.
power necessary
Да
to
блин,
be
я уже
effortless
37
and
минут
smooth.
слушаю это, я
We
хочу
surpass
жрать
ourselves
буду.
every day, showing our passion, perseverance,
Какая же долгая
and potential
презентация.
to the world.
Мама. Ну
This
чё,
is Poco,
Пока показал вот
focusing on
это.
innovations that
Что
truly
дальше-то?
matter. Poco.
Говнюк отдохнул? Да ты издеваешься. Ой, мне уже даже телефон скоро уже все разрядится. Мне бы такую зарядку, как в чар 4.0 нафиг. Вот смотрите, показывают камеру этого pocophone. Либо у них нету фантазии, либо чё? Чё они одно и то же показывают? Они опять это прокручивают. У меня не только, блин, память в телефоне кончится, и зарядка кончится, плюс. И нервы в реале кончатся. Не издеваться.
To be swayed. We curate the technology to enable your daily experience with the raw power necessary to be effortless and smooth. We surpass ourselves every day, showing our passion, perseverance, and potential to the world.
Хорошо, открою. Ладно.
This is Poco, focusing on
Не
innovations
поняли, что
that
это
truly
плохо.
matter.
Поняли, что тут 600... Ой.
Poco.
Поняли? Ой. Короче. По-моему, придется сколько это не делать. Получаем, не кончается. Сейчас. Они бесят уже. Что, все? Типа...
While the world is focused on
Одну
chasing the
минуту назад
latest
все
and the flashiest,
кончают все.
praise
типа.
ourselves so
А
we
все, я
can
задолбался.
in what really matters.
Ай, короче, всем удачи, всем
We
пока.
hold firm to